Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Port Report. Today I'm going to be answering your questions about relationships. Who makes the best soulmates? Who makes the best partners from a man's perspective? And I'm choosing three nationalities. I'm choosing the British ladies, the Russian ladies, and the Filipino ladies. So I'm going to be talking about my experiences. I'm going to try and make it a laugh, a little bit jovial. So I'm going to be speaking about my personal experiences and who do I find the best nationality, who makes the best soulmates. So I'm going to speak about the British first. I've always struggled to have a British girlfriend. I go into a bar, I meet a nice girl, I say, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you, can I buy you a drink? And she looks at me like that, and it's like, get lost. Who's this invading my space? So I've always found it difficult to form a relationship. What I find is it's like, it seems to me like 10% of men are getting 90% of the British women. I don't know if I smell. I really, ladies, give us ugly men a chance. There's some good ones out there, trust me. So yeah, that's my experience about trying to start a relationship. I've had too much rejection. Maybe that's why I came to Russia. Maybe that's why I went to Asia. I was just tired of getting rejected by British women. I remember about 6 or 7 years ago, my assistant Svetlana said to me, Phil, have you ever had a British girlfriend? And I said, oh, and I couldn't think of one. And all I could say was well, Sveta, I was a very ugly child. I used to have lots of spots and I was not very handsome. And she said, but Phil, you're an ugly old man now. I've even had people think I was gay because, I couldn't get a girlfriend or I didn't have a girlfriend. And how do you tell them? It's like, well, I'm not gay, I'm just ugly. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's my experience trying to form a relationship. Maybe I should have tried other methods, maybe going to somebody else's wedding and meeting somebody there, trying to get introduced. Probably my whole approach was wrong. I have a totally different approach in Russia. I have a much better way of meeting ladies, or had when I was single. I'm now in a long-term relationship, got a beautiful son, beautiful better half. I'm very happy. So yeah, that is, in my opinion, the negatives about trying to start a relationship. I also found that the British girls, maybe they drink too much, they party too much. You go to countries like Spain, and I'm sorry to stereotype and I'm sorry to generalize, ladies, I know you're not all the same, but you seem to let yourself go, party too much, just like the men. Us men do it as well. I've let myself go, I'm a little bit fat and things like that. So yeah, so I'm not picking, it's just I'm trying to give a man's perspective. Now, what are the positives about British women? Very intelligent, very committed to the family. They work hard, they go out and get jobs, they contribute to the family. I like the fact that equality, it's not all on the man's shoulders. I like the equality part, that women, like my mother went out and got a job, working 40 hours a week, bringing up 3 children. My father, she was a nurse, my father was a driver. British women do contribute towards the family and they do work hard. I think that is a big positive. So that's what I would say about the British. If you want somebody to help you provide for the family, go for a British woman. Now, in Russia, the difference is, I see a nice lady in the bar, she'll always give me 5 minutes. This is what I like. I've got 5 minutes to impress. I've got 5 minutes to, show her I'm not an idiot, I'm not a baboon. Often the result is the same. After 5 minutes they make their excuses and they go, or I feel that I'm invading their space, so I will leave. but they do give me a chance. They do give me that 5 minutes, so that's what I like. Also, Russian women, they take care of themselves. They're always dieting. They're always making care of, excuse me, they're always taking care of the body, their nails, their face, their hair. They're always looking very, very beautiful and very, very attractive. And this is what I really like. Ladies, you don't like ugly fat men, and we don't like, unattractive women as well. So Russian women take care of themselves. They also like the British. Most Russian women work. They work throughout their whole lives. This is another positive. They go out and get jobs. They work hard, and they do well. They have a lot of good jobs, a lot of strong positions. I used to have speed dating events, and I used to ring a bell every 4 minutes. The men would change tables, the lady would stay seated, and we sold about 1,000 tickets to women and about 100 tickets to men. So we made the men ticket multiple tickets because we didn't have enough men for the events, and the women could only go one time. So what I like about there seems to be some kind of equality. There is demand for men in Russia. There's a shortage of good men, let's say. Now, I was doing a conversational English club at a bank for a bank, and they chose the topic. They chose relationships, and my first question was, and it was to a group of ladies, 5 mid-management ladies, all well dressed, all well spoken, all spoken English. And my first question was, okay, ladies, who's in a relationship? And to my amazement, all these 5 ladies looked down. So anyway, I recovered. I said, okay, would you ever marry a man for his money? And they gave a great answer. They said, look, we would never marry a man for his money, but we're looking for somebody with prospects, somebody who has an ounce of intelligence, somebody who dresses well, who looks well, who can speak well. They want to see that person has got potential. So, there's a Russian expression, men fall in love with their eyes and women fall in love with their ears. They like to hear you saying the right things. Because there is a shortage of men in Russia, we all have a chance. And what do I mean by that? I've got a lot of American friends, a lot of British friends, European friends have come to Russia thinking it's easy pickings, easy to get a girlfriend here. It's not. 50% of my friends, for whatever reason, they've never had a girlfriend here. Either they're fantasists, either they don't have communication skills, either they smell, they don't wear deodorants, or they don't wash, or they don't comb their hair. A Russian woman is not going to go out with you just because you're British or American. That's a fallacy. It's a myth. They're going to go out with you, one, because there's a shortage of men here, and 2, if you can communicate, come across well, speak nice. Being British, being European American does get your foot in the door. It will get you that 5 minutes of conversation, but that's all. You've got to do the rest. You've got to, show them that you're not an idiot. Now, the downside of Russian women, now this might sound like a contradiction, you are expected to pay for everything. You go for meals, you go for restaurant. British women's often equality, they'll pay their own way with British women, but you are expected, especially in the beginning of the relationship, you're always going to pick up the tab. They can be a little bit extravagant, to keep themselves well dressed and nice makeup and nice nails and nice hair. That doesn't come cheap, and you might be expected to pick up some of the bill of that. So there is a lot of high maintenance Russian women out there. So they are looking, for good providers, men who have, as I said earlier, potential. But once you get married, once you start having children and a family, they are very good contributors. But in the early stage of the relationship, they can be very, very high maintenance. So that is a negative side of Russian women. But not many negatives. I love Russian women. I've got so many friends. Most of my friends, most of the ladies that I've met have become very, very good friends. It's not just about relationships. So yeah, I'm very positive about Russian ladies. Met the perfect soulmate, the perfect partner. Obviously, there's a lot of bad eggs out there, a lot of bad, ladies out there, like in any nationality, like any country. But if you find the right one, you're going to be happy as pie, let's say. What do I like about the Filipino ladies? What do I dislike? Now, I've been to the Philippines quite a few times. I've never really had a long-term relationship, but I like the fact that the ladies are very slim. They're not very tall. They do seem to take care of their bodies by not overeating, over drinking. As I said earlier, us men fall in love with what we see, and Filipino ladies are very, very attractive. But obviously, if I'm like I am now, if I'm a 55-year-old man and I'm with a 20-year-old attractive Filipino lady, she's not after my good look. She's not after anything other than, she's looking for a good provider who's not going to just take care of her, going to take care of her family as well. That's the problem with Filipino ladies. Very beautiful, very attractive, speak good English, but normally you're not just with her, you're with the family as well, and you're going to be providing for them for the rest of their lives. Another negative thing about the Filipino ladies is that they always find a reason for you to send them money. Like, I'm back in England. Oh, Phil, I lost my mobile phone. Or, can you buy me a new one so we can communicate? They're always finding some, way that you can financially support them. Now, that's fair enough. You go to Manila, you go to Cebu, you go to these regions and you see fat old men like myself with a beautiful woman, and they think she's in love with them because they're Brad Pitt. No, it's not because of that. They expect you to provide for them, and fair enough. If that's what you want, enjoy life. You only have one life. A lot of ladies are going to disagree with this in the West, in Europe, in Russia. They're going to be thinking, oh, we're taking advantage of them poor Filipino young ladies. Well, I don't know. As I said, I've never been in a long-term relationship. I've only been there on holiday with the boys. Went for a wedding. A good friend of mine got married there. But that's what I saw. And how to put it nicely. A win-win situation. The guy gets a beautiful, attractive lady. She gets a good provider. Obviously, not all Filipinos are that way inclined, but I found that in Britain, I was a pauper, no luck whatsoever. In Russia, I was an equal. I had equality. They would give me 5 minutes. I could form relationships. But in Philippines, I was pushing the women away. I was a king. I was like a god, let's say. That's how I found it when I was visiting the Philippines. I found that it wasn't difficult to find a person that you could have a relationship with. As I said, I didn't have any long-term relationships there. I just went there for partying with the boys, a bit of fun. So I'm sorry and apologise now if I've got that bit wrong, but I believe what I see, and I was seeing, attractive ladies with older, not so attractive men. So if I was to grade everybody, I would give the British a B. I would give, B minus actually. I would give the Russians a B plus, the Russian ladies, and I'd give the Filipinos a B. You know, again, with the British, I haven't had many relationships with British women. They just didn't give me a chance, and that's what I found. Guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe in the bottom. Please click subscribe. Thank you, guys.